Tonight on CTV News at 6, the city soaked after days of downpour. The impact of steady, heavy rain on our city and the rest of Alberta.
Please have patience. Use our 311 system. That's what it's there for.
How one neighborhood fought City Hall and swiftly won.
Don't expect miracles every time.
And there's a buzz at an Edmonton high school.
It's just really not awe-inspiring but humbling to remind ourselves of these tiny but mighty creatures' presence in our world and also how much they do for us.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Rivers, streams, and storm ponds have risen. Puddles look more like little lakes, and rain gauges are full around Edmonton. We've had days of steady rain. EPCOR says the minimum reported rainfall from one of its stations is 70 millimeters since Sunday. CTV's Connor Hogg is following the soaking start to June for us tonight and joins us now from the River Valley next to a healthy North Saskatchewan. Connor.
Jeff, there's a high stream flow advisory for the North Saskatchewan River from near the foothills all the way to the Saskatchewan border. Its many tributaries are swollen and swift, and away from the river, there's lots of water on roads, in parks, and in some unlucky people's homes. Constant rain is creating new temporary waterfront property around Edmonton. While just outside the city, unpaved roads are a problem. Thick mud slowing down travelers. It's not just water on the ground that's causing anxiety for some.
My daughter had called me and said that our smoke alarm was going off.
Rain is falling inside Christine Archambault's home as well as outside. A few days ago, her upstairs smoke and CO2 detectors kept going off. After calling the fire department twice, they figured out the reason it was happening.
The reason was that there was water leaking down the roof, and that was what had caused it.
Traffic on the Yellowhead this morning reopened after being drowned out yesterday. Visible flooding on roads and stormwater ponds is adding to concerns for some to listen to that little voice in their head.
She goes, "Mom, there's water." And I was like, "Oh no, it's probably just condensation."
The rain has been a source of stress for Jess Gels. This is her family's first spring in their new Sherwood Park home. While some leaky windows can be managed easily, when she looks outside her upstairs window, she sees something a little more concerning.
To see it as high as it is and how close it is to the people that are literally backing onto the lake, because we are just like maybe one house removed from that. It's a little anxiety inducing for sure. I've definitely find myself looking up out the window a little bit more often just to see where we're at.
It is absolutely insane for us right now, and we're kind of used to it, and we've got to be the calm during the storm.
Shield Foundation Repair's Todd Ivanochko says if water does start to make its way into your home, call for help and try to contain it.
Try and contain the water with towels and bed sheets and whatever you've got, old socks and laundry. Roll back your carpet and the underlay.
Ivanochko recommends getting your sump pump serviced and inspected as well. Back in Sherwood Park, Jess Gels is monitoring hers.
My husband called me this morning. He's like, "Hey, did you check the sump pump? I forgot to check before I went to work." And I was like, "I will do that right now after I change the towels on the windows."
As for where all that water disappearing in the storm is going, EPCOR says the storm drain system is working well and there are no capacity issues at this time. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. Connor Hogg live tonight. Okay, let's bring Josh in a little bit early. And the big question, Josh, did we make it through?
Yeah, the bulk of the heavy rain was done sort of midday today. There's still a few scattered showers in the area through this afternoon. But look at these rainfall totals. I mean, there were some backyard stations that got around 100 millimeters worth of rain. Downtown, though, officially 23 Sunday, 41 Monday, 14 today, for a total of 78, 81 millimeters of rain at the YEG airport. That's about 2 months of spring rain in 2.5 days. The average rainfall for the entire months of April and May is 72 millimeters. So we were above that Sunday, Monday, and through half of the day today. There's the cloudy skies in the Edmonton area, but the rain has moved well off to the west. Still some showers falling in northeastern Alberta. You've got some rain as well in parts of southern and southwestern Alberta. Look at this low just kind of spinning about. We'll see a bit more rain in east central Alberta through the evening hours. But here in Edmonton, we're done. Until maybe Thursday evening. Friday evening has a chance of showers. And actually both Saturday and Sunday, the chance of some more rain. So we may not be done for long, but tomorrow the sun should come back out. The temperatures should be a little warmer than today. Looks like 11 will go down as the daytime high for today. We're at 10 in downtown Edmonton right now, somewhere in the 8 to 10 degree range around the region, with wind out of the north. Downtown at about 10 to 15 for most of the day today. And it should stay fairly light, it looks like, overnight tonight and through most of tomorrow. 8 degrees tomorrow morning, some sun breaking through the clouds in the afternoon, and I'll go 17, maybe as warm as 19 for a high tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you, Josh. Down in Calgary and nearby mountain parks, the steady rain has brought flashbacks to the 2013 floods. While the weather has turned out to be much less intense, one Canmore restaurant has been forced to close, and some visitors had a close call with a rock slide. CTV's Tyler Barrow reports.
And then look what happened just ahead of us.
A close call Maritimer Tricia Livingston won't forget.
This rock from the ledge just came tumbling down, and it was insane.
It happened on a section of the Spray Lakes Road that has since been closed. Livingston and two friends were driving back into Canmore Monday night after visiting the Spray Lakes Range. She says they were 50 meters away when debris started falling down the mountain.
We sit there and think like, oh my goodness, if, what if we took one less picture, or like just the time, like you never know, right?
In Canmore, some are dealing with the aftermath from all the rain. The Drake Screaming Retriever restaurant and brewery had to close Monday after its basement flooded.
The biggest damage was the loss of 2 days, 2 days of revenue. The staff won't be getting hours for those 2 days.
And as the Bow River flows from the mountains through Calgary, water is running high in Calgary, but significant flooding is not expected.
It's close to peak in the Calgary area, just over 400 cubic meters per second, and might go a little bit higher, but it's, again, far lower than the peaks that occurred in 2013.
Some pathways will remain closed, and monitoring continues for riverbank erosion and damage to bridges.
Oh yeah, I wasn't out when it was pouring rain. Thank goodness I didn't have to go out.
Many Calgarians were happy to see the rain, but at this point, they've had enough.
Definitely enjoy it more without rain because I like walking outside during my lunchtime.
It's nice and calm. Running is nice and cool now. So,
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The city of St. Albert is asking people to stay away from the Sturgeon River after a wastewater pipeline break. It happened yesterday near the corner of Sir Winston Churchill Avenue and Kingswood Drive. The water forced the city to close part of the Red Willow Trail system. Some of the water made it into the river. Alberta Health Services is now testing the water quality. If anyone has any health concerns, they're asked to call Alberta HealthLink. The group pushing for Alberta separation says the Premier's cost claims for independence are false. Danielle Smith said this week the move would cost hundreds of billions, while separatists say their math shows billions in revenue. Tyson Fedor reports.
The leaders of the Alberta independence movement say Premier Danielle Smith is inflating the cost of the province separating from Canada.
Keep in mind, this is going to be a negotiated divorce.
Alberta Prosperity Project lawyer Jeff Rath believes the Premier's Monday estimate of leaving of at least $400 billion misses the mark.
If it was twice the price of that, I would still say that it's 100% worth it, right? Just to get out from underneath the boot of Ottawa.
Separatists have shared door hanger information cards. They also say, as a standalone country, many systems are already in place, which would be taken over by an Alberta government.
Paying for immigration, paying for border control, paying for airports, paying for an Alberta army, picking up the tab, tripling the amount of money going into Indigenous communities in this province. Doing all of that, Alberta would have $29 to $48 billion fiscal capacity surplus.
Smith listed off a host of federal services that would need to transition to Alberta control, including Border Patrol, post offices, NATO commitments, CPP, EI, and railways. The Premier also pointed to renegotiating trade deals and being slapped with tariffs.
I came up with almost $400 billion worth of transitional costs that we'd have to assume, in addition to somewhere between $25 to $50 billion worth of annual costs.
we're going to have a better trade agreement in a free and independent Alberta than Canada has, because we haven't been constantly sticking our finger in the eye of the president.
But economist Trevor Toome refutes those claims, long documenting that scrapping income and sales taxes would cut nearly $80 billion from government revenues, with his bottom line stating that a separate Alberta would be a poorer Alberta. Smith says the province will have its own costing document provided to Albertans before August. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Retired Judge Brian O'Farrell will head a new panel to redraw Alberta's electoral boundaries. The provincial government rejected an impartial panel's first set of recommendations. It's leaving it up to a UCP-led committee to redraw the riding's map. The opposition questions how O'Farrell can be impartial given he's donated money to the UCP. The UCP says the retired justice is free to personally participate in the political process and still be trusted to be impartial professionally. Leaders from teachers' organizations across Canada are condemning the use of the Notwithstanding clause to end labour disputes. Last year, the Alberta government used the clause to force teachers back to work during a strike. Following a meeting in Banff, teaching organizations released a joint statement condemning its use and similar action in other provinces. The president of the Canadian Federation of Teachers says the clause was meant to be used in extreme circumstances, not to bypass bargaining.
If any government is allowed to bulldoze worker rights and tip the bargaining tables in their favor in this way, it will happen again. And it could be any worker in Canada who suffers the consequences of that misuse in the future.
The statement calls on all levels of government to pledge not to use the Notwithstanding clause in the context of labour relations with teachers. Alberta's education minister says the government stands by its decision to use the clause and will not hesitate to use every available legal tool in defence of students. A neighbourhood in southeast Edmonton is proving you can fight City Hall. It took just 3 days for the city to remove a four-way stop after hundreds of complaints. Jeremy Thompson explores whether people in Maple found a shortcut to getting issues addressed quickly.
It's once again a free flow of traffic on Maple Road in southeast Edmonton. Drivers only have to stop to make a left turn or when someone's crossing the street. It wouldn't normally be notable, but it's a big change from the traffic backups drivers experienced over the weekend because of a new four-way stop.
Every car is having to stop just on that stop sign. This has given anxiety to a lot of people thinking about going on Monday to school or to work or wherever.
The city says the four-way was put in because drivers had asked for a safer way to turn onto Maple Road.
This was the worst possible decision.
The city's director of safe mobility says her team used engineering guidelines and the results of a site assessment of traffic operations at the intersection prior to implementing the new measures. Some delay was anticipated, but the assessment did not predict drive times for some would quadruple.
Emails, 311 requests, social media posts.
Hundreds of people complained to the city and Councillor Joanne Wright. And less than 3 days after being installed, a city crew took them down.
Like, is sending 100 emails a shortcut to getting your complaint addressed?
No, I don't think it was.
Wright believes the severity of the impact and simplicity of the solution are what led to such a quick response. The city confirms there is no complaint threshold that would trigger immediate action.
When I did contact them on Monday morning, they were on it right away, realizing the impact to the community.
The councillor is still in talks with city staff about paving the other access road into the neighbourhood to lighten the traffic burden on Maple Road. In the meantime, when it comes to getting your concerns addressed quickly,
please have patience. Use our 311 system. That's what it's there for. Yeah, don't expect miracles every time.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A milestone has been reached in the expansion of the River Cree Resort and Casino. Construction crews have topped off the new hotel tower, completing the 20th and final floor of the building. The project will now move into its interior construction phase as work on the expansion continues. Crews say a golf center, surgical center, and spa are also coming to the resort in 2028.
We lead the way in economic development in Canada for First Nations. We don't stop. We're going to keep building and not stop building until we have everything in place here. It's going to be basically a 10-minute city that has all the amenities of any resort, and we're second to none.
The hotel addition is expected to open in the summer of 2027. Van Halen fans will be able to dance the night away when David Lee Roth comes to the River Cree this summer. Former Van Halen frontman is bringing his solo show to the River Cree July the 10th. The show is adults only. Tickets go on sale Friday. Young musicians will take the stage tonight at the Windspear. The annual Road to Joy concert is a fundraiser supporting the Youth Orchestra of Northern Alberta, better known as Yona. This year's show will feature performances from Yona's newest musicians from Ivor Dent School. For many students, tonight will be the first time performing on the Windspear stage. It's a milestone organizers hope will inspire the young musicians.
It's a moment that it can be transformative in the lives of many of our young people and our staff and our families. It's a moment of coming together to build something beautiful.
I know that a lot of people's going to be watching us, and I'm very certain that my parents will be part of it. So what I'm most excited for is having the chance to be able to do my best.
Organizers say the concert showcases the full range of student musicians in the program. Still ahead, a failing grade.
It's very difficult to see where learning takes place when the grading is so harsh, so to speak.
Alberta lands near the bottom of a poverty report card. Why one economist says the grading system needs a perspective shift.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Police say a family dispute led to the discovery of a body downtown. Police say the body of a 74-year-old man was found at a home in the area of 104th Ave and 122nd Street yesterday. Earlier, police were responding to a family dispute at a West Edmonton condo. While arresting a 36-year-old man, officers obtained information about another crime scene where the senior's body was found. Police say the two are known to each other. Police are looking for two people after a convenience store worker was stabbed in the middle of the day. Police released photos of two people they're hoping to identify. Police say in mid-May, a man and woman entered a store at 157th Street and Stony Plain Road. Police say they were shoplifting and the clerk confronted them. During a struggle, the clerk was stabbed. He was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. And Edmonton police are looking for the person they believe set a fire in North Macaulay early last month. Police believe this man was responsible for a fire at a business near 91st Street and 111th Avenue. He was wearing a black Adidas sweater, blue jeans, and black and white Adidas shoes. He was riding an orange mountain bike with a small blue wagon. Anyone with information or surveillance footage is asked to reach out to police. Edmonton is getting a new facility for the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to help complete death investigations faster. The current medical examiner building was built in 1983. The province says the new facility will have specialized space for exams and autopsies along with improved lab and storage capacity. The province says it will increase the ability to respond to complex cases and mass casualty events. New toxicology equipment will be able to detect and measure alcohol, drugs, and opioids in deceased people. It will cost $125 million. It's expected to take 4 years to complete. Questions are being raised about the Canada's Food Bank annual poverty report card. Well, no province did exceptionally well. Alberta's D- score put it near the bottom. As Curtis Goodrum reports, one economist says it's missing some critical information.
For many shoppers, the first Tuesday of the month is grocery day. It's when several local stores offer a discount of 10%.
It's getting expensive, yes.
More than a little bit unaffordable. They're becoming very unaffordable.
So unaffordable that last summer, Edmonton's Food Bank reported requests for help hitting an all-time high.
If they're on a fixed income, their income stays the same and groceries go up all the time. No wonder food bank usage is going up so much.
These people aren't the only ones concerned with prices. A recent report from Canada's Food Bank gave Alberta a D- happiness on its report card. However, one economist says that this doesn't provide a clear picture on what Alberta could do better.
It's very difficult to see where learning takes place when the grading is so harsh, so to speak.
While toughly graded, the report did list ways Alberta could improve, including rental caps, low-income apprenticeships, and developing a poverty reduction strategy. U of A economist Joseph Marchand says there has been an increase in poverty levels from young adults looking for entry-level jobs.
That's one way that a bad labor market for a particular cohort that's coming out of school could translate into worse poverty measures.
In a statement, Canada's Food Bank said food insecurity in Canada has risen to crisis levels, and we welcome a diversity of perspectives, and that housing costs and struggles with affordability are impacting food security in every province. Marchand says future reports should provide greater perspective on subjective categories like how people are feeling about their own financial picture.
I believe in the MBM measure for poverty rate, and I think that that's a strong component in this report.
Curtis Gudrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Coming up next on CTV News at 6, growing excitement.
I'm cheering for the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's my country of origin. And of course, the country that hosts me now, Canada.
Edmonton soccer fans have plenty to cheer for heading into the FIFA World Cup.
It was a soaked field at Commonwealth for the friendly yesterday. But sunshine should start to come out tomorrow afternoon. And temperatures, they're headed back closer to average. All those details right after the break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The FIFA World Cup kicks off next week with 48 countries competing. Local soccer fans of all backgrounds are cheering for more than just Team Canada. Nerman Issa reports.
Osorio drives it in! Jonathan Osorio with a goal to give Canada the lead in Edmonton.
A 2-0 win for Canada in an international friendly against Uzbekistan served as a warm-up for next week's FIFA World Cup. More than 46,000 fans braved the torrential downpour to watch in person.
It's amazing being able to actually experience it in North America. I didn't think it was ever going to happen, especially in my lifetime.
Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are hosting this year's FIFA World Cup. 48 countries are competing to be crowned the best soccer nation. Over on Alberta Avenue, one of Edmonton's most diverse neighborhoods, fans of all backgrounds are cheering for Canada, second only to their home countries.
Cheers! Let's go Portugal!
At this Portuguese restaurant, it's obvious which team these patrons are cheering for. They also say it's exciting to see soccer grow as a game on Canadian soil.
Well, it's about time because we're always hockey and football and no soccer, right? Now finally it's spreading out.
Further down the street at Kaswa Tropical Food Market, fan support is behind the African countries.
Cheering for the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's my country of origin. And of course, the country that hosts me now, Canada.
At La Morenita, it's all about Mexican pride for the most part.
Who are you cheering for?
Mexican. both Mexico and Canada.
The international tournament kicks off June 11th. Canada's first match is next Friday against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Nerman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Yeah, Mexican, that works.
Absolutely. It's better than Mexican.
Go Mexican.
Right?
Josh Glosson, everyone.
Take a look at some more rainfall totals from around the Edmonton area from Environment Canada. Officially 75 to 100 in the city, if you're counting some of the backyard stations. 73 Sherwood Park, 71 in Stony Plain, but close to 90 in Leduc and Devon. And we mentioned earlier that there were some triple-digit totals. Look at Lavoie, just east of Vegreville, 113. That's a little over 11 centimeters of rain. 139 millimeters Stavely, just off to the south of the Calgary region. There was also some really heavy rain. We're going to try and pin down some numbers in the Bonnyville-St. Paul region. We just haven't had any official numbers come in, but it looks like you're probably over 100 in that area as well. River Valley Skycam is brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed rider, it's free. 10 degrees right now under cloudy skies. So far, 10.4 for the daytime high. I still think we might tick up to 11 officially for a high. We'll see what comes in here in the next hour or so. 14 in Cold Lake, 15 in Lloydminster, and Grand Prairie made it close to 20, got into the low 20s in High Level and Peace River. Here's what's coming for the next couple of days. We'll be mid to high teens for a high tomorrow. I'm maybe a little pessimistic with 17. Maybe we'll get to 19. 20 or 22 for Thursday, Friday, and then you get this cool down again for Saturday, Sunday. Both days, good chance of some showers, maybe even some periods of steadier rain. Won't be anywhere near as heavy as what we just came through. And then temperatures kind of level off next week, somewhere in the low 20s, so around or just slightly above average. There's the big upper level low. You can see it still spinning counterclockwise there off to the southeast. That thing's been there for a couple of days. It will weaken and move off to the east gradually over the next 24 hours. Rain still falling around Calgary and off to the southwest. Looks like it's done with the Red Deer region. We get some showers pushing into east central Alberta, and it's starting to break down around the Fort McMurray area. That's not going to move anywhere. You're just going to have to wait for that to fizzle out. East central Alberta, as we said, you'll see a few more of those showers, but I don't think they'll get all the way west to Edmonton. We'll just stay cloudy overnight tonight, cloudy tomorrow morning, and there's your sun for tomorrow afternoon. And how quickly the clouds break, how much they break, will determine whether or not we only get to 17 or maybe get a couple of degrees warmer than that. Some showers and thunderstorms in through western sections of the province tomorrow evening. Those won't make it to the Edmonton area, but look at Thursday. You get a chance of some showers and thunderstorms through much of central Alberta, I think off to the south and in through northwestern Alberta. That might be a better chance than here in Edmonton, but a risk nonetheless for some late day thunderstorms Thursday, and then maybe some late day showers or thunderstorms again on Friday. It's 10 in Edmonton right now and just 8 in Red Deer. Grand Prairie still stuck at 19 degrees. We'll drop to about 8 degrees tomorrow morning. Wind stays light, 5 to 10 kilometers per hour, and then mid to high teens with some sun breaking through the clouds tomorrow afternoon. There's a high degree of uncertainty with both days this weekend. I think there's a very good chance that we'll see at least some precipitation. The question is how much and which of those 2 days has the steadier rain. So come back in the next day or two and we'll try and nail that down.
Sounds good. Thank you, Josh. Coming up, here we go again.
Yeah, here he goes again. Here goes President Trump again, 51st state. I get tired of that guy.
Donald Trump revives his 51st state declarations and...
Extreme heat alone is already one of the deadliest climate hazards we face. An El Nino event could intensify the threat on average.
A long-range forecast has a higher chance of extreme weather worldwide.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by the music of Harry Potter with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
U.S. President Donald Trump is taking the news Canada is in a technical recession as an opportunity to revive his threats of making it the 51st state. CTV's Rachel Aiello is following this for us from Ottawa.
The U.S. president is at it again, taking to Truth Social last night to call Canada the 51st state, a message amplified this morning by the American ambassador to Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney said despite the rhetoric, it's an administration Canada has to work with.
We take the administration as it is and are working together on a number of areas. Canada strong.
This less than a week after Carney said a strong Canada would help make America great again. And that line was one U.S. Ambassador Pete Hoekstra said was worth repeating. Asked what he makes of Donald Trump using recession talk to revive the annexation taunt, Pierre Poilievre called it ridiculous.
We have to make sure that we don't allow ridiculous comments like that to distract us from the very real suffering that Canadians are experiencing. The regret that Mr. Carney has created this weakness. Going into formal negotiations.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford also pushed back, while noting Ontario created 380% more jobs than the U.S. per capita in April.
Yeah, here he goes again. Here goes President Trump again, 51st state. I get tired of that guy.
These Canadians weren't worried about the U.S. trying to use our economic slowdown as leverage.
Got lots of opportunities here. We are a country with minerals. We are a country with professionals.
Canadians will have none of it.
Does Trump even know what leverage is? This is not just Canada that's experiencing the economic issues. It's a worldwide thing.
While the Canadians we spoke to didn't express the same concerns, today the opposition called on Carney to present a plan to reverse the recession so that Canada can go into this summer's trade talks in a better economic position. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Prime Minister was asked point blank today whether Canada is in a recession. While he acknowledged economic weakness, he says the federal government is in the process of building a stronger, more independent economy.
That process is settling in during that time as we make major investments, major changes to how the government operates, how we do major projects, how we have new trade agreements with other countries. It's always difficult. I should always remember to go up the stairs more slowly or get in better shape. As we do all that, the data is going to be uneven.
Data released last week showing Canada is in a technical recession, meaning a slight drop in the country's real GDP 2 quarters in a row. Trade talk is front and center, with the minister leading that file in Washington. Ahead of a high-stakes meeting, Dominic LeBlanc issued a letter to the U.S. and Mexico calling for a lengthy renewal of the Continental Trade Agreement. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports from Washington.
Minister, what are the goals of this meeting?
The goals of this meeting is to be able to tell you how well it's gone when we finish at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The Canada-U.S. trade minister and chief negotiator in Washington to talk with the top U.S. trade rep, Jameson Greer. Dominic LeBlanc issued a letter to the U.S. and Mexico officially stating Canada's recommendation for a 16-year renewal of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Free Trade Agreement.
We took stock of the work that the Americans want to do with Canada and the work that we're prepared to do over the coming weeks. I remain optimistic about the work that we can do with the Americans.
While a delegation from Manitoba was also here Tuesday, separately meeting with other U.S. trade officials.
There's clearly a path forward. There's clearly an importance for both countries as well to find a solution to this. So, I think we heard clearly some of those irritants were. I think there's a path that we can make these kind of go away as well, though.
The U.S. has made its irritants known. The booze ban, supply management, and the Online Streaming Act high on the list, with one source today quoting frustration from U.S. officials who said dealing with Canada has been a roller coaster.
He seems to go and socialize and come back empty-handed while the Mexicans have been in formal negotiations, eating our lunch for the last 6 months. I am concerned that Mr. LeBlanc goes down at a time when Mark Carney has led us into the only recession in the G7.
The Prime Minister, meanwhile, tried to downplay the idea Mexico is further ahead in talks.
There's a series of issues, technical issues that they have with Mexico, they have with us, which is why there's a bifurcated discussion. So 30 issues or so with us, more than almost 60, I think, with Mexico at current count. And so we're working through a series of those issues.
Mexico has already wrapped up one round of trade talks with the U.S., with 2 more set, leaving many worried about where that leaves Canada ahead of a July 1st deadline. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Ukraine's president is asking for more U.S. and European support after Russian attacks on Kyiv and other cities killed at least 22 civilians and injured 138 others. Russia launched more than 600 drones and over 70 missiles stretching from night into day. People in Ukraine's capital had been on edge after Moscow warned a large-scale aerial attack was coming. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the strikes as an explicit statement by Russia that if his country is not protected from missiles, these types of attacks will continue. The United Nations Weather Agency is warning of an increased risk of extreme weather in coming months thanks to a strong El Nino.
Extreme heat alone is already one of the deadliest climate hazards we face. An El Nino event could intensify this threat on average.
An El Nino is a warming of sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean lasting up to a year. The weather pattern is known to cause extreme heat, severe floods, and drought. Right now, the World Meteorological Organization says the tropical Pacific is unusually warm, with surface temperatures 6 degrees above average. However, the group says a strong El Nino is still not guaranteed. Still ahead, healthcare frustrations.
I have gone on extensive wait lists, but I never get, it's like a lottery to get in.
From AI diagnostics to privatized care, look at the options Canadians would consider to heal the healthcare system. And a live look for you from the CTV drone above the river valley, a swollen North Saskatchewan, a high stream flow advisory in effect from Rocky Mountain House all the way east to the Saskatchewan border. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by Alberta iGaming Corporation. For integrity, for fun, for Alberta.
After all this rain, you may feel ready for a spring refresh. Wednesday on Your Morning, we'll talk about what's going on in our brains and bodies at this time of the season and how to take advantage.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar holding steady near 72 cents U.S. Oil was up $1.60, closing around $93 a barrel. Gold is up $13 on the day. On the stock market, the TSX is up 434 points. The Dow Jones also up 228 points. New polling is bringing to light just how frustrated Canadians feel about the healthcare system. One family says their struggle to find a doctor was once unheard of and is now becoming the norm. CTV's Andrew Johnson has more.
She got her own bowl of Cheerios last week for the first time.
Jen Dunn still remembers how she got her daughter Kaya, who has severe autism, a referral to a pediatrician. How could she forget?
I'm not exaggerating. I was on my knees in tears. And I said, I'm not leaving here until I get some help. Nobody will help me.
Hours spent in waiting rooms or months on referral lists. Don't pass quickly.
Any kid on the spectrum, it's just so hard for them to wait.
Dunn's number one focus is her daughter, but her own care situation is bleak. She last had a family doctor a decade and a half ago.
I was pregnant with my daughter, and she just turned 16. I have gone on extensive wait lists, but I never get, it's like a lottery to get in.
Dunn's experience is echoed in a new Nanos research poll of 1,000 Canadians who most commonly named long waits their number one healthcare concern, followed by poor access to services and shortages of both doctors and staff. More than 90% of Canadians polled say something needs to change. More than 2/3 are open or somewhat open to having providers use AI to assist with diagnosis and treatment plans. 60% expressed openness to allowing private organizations to deliver publicly funded surgeries and diagnostic tests to reduce wait times.
The health system generally is so hard to turn this big ship around, whether it comes to using virtual care, allowing health professionals to use AI, allowing health professionals to do more of the things that traditionally doctors would do.
Only 14% of Canadians polled believe the healthcare system is headed in the right direction. No matter the solution, and a fix won't be simple, almost everyone agrees something is seriously wrong. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The City of Edmonton is helping people solve the mystery of where their garbage goes. The city is offering tours of its waste management center. You can see the integrated processing and transfer facility, nicknamed Garbage Land. It's where some household garbage is sorted. Some of the trash is made into a fuel, which is converted into energy. The longtime tour guide says it's a good way to learn why it's important to sort your trash.
Keeping materials out of the landfill is really important. Why? If we put natural materials in like food scraps and we have items like grass or trees or tree branches, they will decompose within the confines of the landfill as methane gas, and then that can be vented into the atmosphere. And so that's not really good for the environment.
Tours are free and about 2 hours long. You have to sign up online. The Oil King's new general manager says he's excited to get started. Former Oil Kings general manager Kurt Hill presented his successor Michael Chan with a new jersey today. Chan was the team's director of scouting the last 5 seasons. He says he wants to continue building strong relationships with the players the team develops.
We're in a unique profession where young players move away from home at an early age. Their families trust us with a lot to maximize their potential as people, and that's not a responsibility we take lightly.
Former GM Kurt Hill is joining the Edmonton Oilers as the Assistant General Manager of Player Procurement. Jamie Jackson replaces Chan as the Oil Kings Director of Scouting. Still ahead, up close and personal with nature.
And this is real world. Boom, here it is right in front of your face.
Edmonton High School students buzzing about their newest classmates.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV. Programming brought to you by Green Tree Outdoor Living, where your dream yard becomes a reality.
Thousands of bees moved into an Edmonton high school this week. The new addition will give students in the natural science program an up-close look at how a hive works. Amanda Anderson has more.
And then we just slid the frames in.
The contents of that box have captivated students. Inside are thousands of honeybees.
I think it's really cool that they've already started to make some of the honeycomb. You know, they just got here, but they've been working hard all night to build things, and it's only going to pick up once it gets more sunny because then they're able to go outside.
Thanks to a grant through the Bee Cause project, W.P. Wagner High School was able to add a glass-encased hive to its natural science program.
We have a greenhouse, but I've definitely tried to expand the program to be more than plants, and bees are just a perfect way to tie in the natural world with plants and everything we've been doing.
There's a pipe connected to the hive that allows the bees to go outside and collect pollen.
Bring it back, make honey out of that, feed their young, feed themselves in the winter, and that's their hive. And so every bee has a job. There's worker bees, drone bees, and the queen bee.
A process students get to watch unfold firsthand.
I feel like it's just really not awe-inspiring but humbling to remind ourselves of these tiny but mighty creatures' presence in our world, and also how much they do for us.
The more I can connect students and get them away from their phones, get them away from digital, and this is real world, boom, here it is right in front of your face, I think that is very powerful.
There was some apprehension when students learned the beehive was coming.
A little bit. I was scared that they were going to kind of be out in the community, in the school area, or around the school, stinging people and causing a mess, but no, they're really well set up.
And reassurance from their teacher that other schools have not reported any bee stings in the years they've had similar observation hives.
These potentially will be here for years as long as they survive the winter. This will be a long-term investment in our school.
He just hopes the same way bees are attracted to flowers, these pollinators will help attract more students to learn about them. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, I think the window has opened for you to golf, potentially. Or did you golf in the rain the last couple of days?
You know what, I would have. I was just busy the last couple of days. It is looking a little bit nicer, especially through the morning hours for the next couple of days. It'll be cool. 8 degrees tomorrow morning. Back to about 17, maybe as warm as 19 tomorrow. We'll see how much sunshine we actually get in the afternoon. Wind should be fairly light through the day. Back into the 20 or 22 degree range for Thursday, Friday, but late in the day, Thursday and Friday, could see some scattered showers or thunderstorms. And then, the weekends, it's not going to be a super soaker like the last couple of days. But both days, we'll probably have at least some showers, and temperatures will be back in the mid to maybe high teens Saturday, Sunday.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. And thanks for sharing your time with us. Have a great evening, everyone.
See ya.